Hey, it's Talk Comics to Me time. Mm-hmm. We're here on a Thursday evening. It's not too bad outside. I was going to say it's hot outside.
Yeah, it's hot.
But it's fine.
It's thick.
Yeah, it is thick out there. I'm Champ Champenstein.
I'm Heather Hadfield.
And we're here to talk about comic books. If you know our deal, you know.
We just like to talk about comics, you know?
You know what we're about to do.
Yeah.
So get ready.
So here we go.
X's gonna give it to you.
Okay. I'm gonna go first. I have She Bites. This is issue number 1. This is a Scout book. This is a story about a 134-year-old vampire in the body of a young child. She is tired of not being taken seriously because she is a child. So she hires or puts out a flyer to hire a babysitter essentially who can do stuff for her, like buy her cigarettes and stuff like that. The girl she ends up finding is this 18-year-old girl who is severely depressed and wanting to kill herself. Mm-hmm. So she is trying to save up money to go to the perfect place to kill herself. So she takes the job, and there's going to be some shenanigans that happen, some hilarious hijinks. I really liked this. It was it was a lot of fun. It reminded me of Claudia a lot. We've been talking a lot about Ncbd Vampire, so it reminded me a lot of her.
I would like to say, since I'm reading it, I'm right there. Yeah. She's almost coming.
Yeah, perfect. Love that. I'm not sure how many issues this is going to be, and I don't think I care either way because it's just so much fun. I had a lot of fun reading this one.
Oh, good.
So She Bites.
Me happy.
Yeah. And I knew that I was going to like it, I guess, just reading the solicit because they showed the first couple pages when I was reading about it, and I was like, okay, it looks cool. I like the art a lot, and the little vampire girl's a little piece of shit, and I love shitty kids.
Yeah.
So
checks out.
Yeah, fun.
I'll just go real fast. I'll do this thing with my wee Chris. I got this interview. God damn it.
This is Interview with the Vampire. It's the hardcover.
We do have a hardcover of Interview with the Vampire. This is actually a hardcover of Something is Killing the Children. This is the slipcase deluxe edition, second printing. So it has silver teeth instead of white teeth. And then here's the nice little hardcover. It's the first 15 issues, I believe. 15 or 14, and there's some little extra back matter in there that I didn't actually notice when I flipped through that the first time.
I wish they had that in the Once and Future one. They didn't.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, that's part of, one of the reasons why I got it. I think hardcovers are so cool and slipcases because usually they do include a lot of extra stuff like that. So I'm curious to see what their extra features are for that.
Yeah, it was just. I'll show it to you at the end. But I think it's worth it. It was $69.99, which is quite a bit of money. But it's a nice looking hardcover. I don't know. It's a series I really like, so it felt like it was worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Something I'll keep around for ever.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah. So when I die, somebody's like, why? Why did this person have so many books and comics? What the fuck is wrong with them?
No, I don't think that's a question that can be answered. It's more rhetorical than anything.
It's what weirdo are they going to find to go through my stuff when I'm dead?
It's going to be me, because I'm going to live forever.
Okay.
And I'm going to pretend that I don't know what any of this stuff is when I go through it. Because I'm going to be old by that point.
Yeah, you might not even know.
That's fair. That's fair.
So Something is Killing the Children. Deluxe hardcover. Number 1. Second printing.
I didn't realize that I knew it was a second printing, but I didn't realize that they were going to do a different thing for it.
I didn't either.
That's cool.
So, that's why when I opened them, I was like, well, I'm pretty sure the other ones were white.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I remember that. But we have the slipcases at work still.
Yeah, so. But I don't know if those are for the first edition.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So then the first ones were white. And that book is going for $120 on eBay, which is just ludicrous.
Love that.
I guess it's only double the price, but still.
Yeah. It's quite a bit.
Just holding my beer like just my friends.
Okay. I'm going to go again. Mm-hmm. This is Locust, The Ballad of Men, issue number 1. This is the, I guess, volume 2 of this Locust series.
Yes.
This is about a plague that is taking over the world that changes people instead of into zombies, into locusts. It follows one guy named Max, who at the end of the first series, he finds a child who is on their own, and obviously a child. So he kind of takes her under his wing and stuff and is like protecting her and stuff. But he does not know how to act around children. He's kind of mean, but that's where this one picks up, because where the last one left off, he had just kind of rescued this kid from getting killed from locusts and stuff, and this is them trying to work together without knowing each other and like keeping each other safe and stuff. So it's it gives me a lot of Last of Us vibes, which, you know, is one of my favorite games ever. So it's fine. It's I did like that first story arc a whole lot. It was a very weird and interesting take on post-apocalyptic stuff, because like it's locusts.
So yeah, very different.
Yeah. So yeah, for the first issue, I did kind of feel lost for a minute, just because it's been a while since that one came out, and I kind of forgot how it ended, but it really does a good job of just like not necessarily explaining things, but just kind of making it seem new again,
keeping you in the loop.
Yeah. So it was good. I liked it. I feel like the art is different, but also again, I don't really remember how it ended. So and it was only 4 issues, so I don't feel like I'm gonna be writing it for a while.
All right.
You know?
Yeah, I get you. Okay, so I have Dark Spaces Wildfire. This is issue number 1. This is a story by Scott Snyder. Hayden Sherman does the art, and Rhonda Pattinson does the colors, and World Design does the letters. But I obviously picked this up because I really like Hayden Sherman's art a lot. This book was no exception.
So good.
Yeah, there were so many really cool pages. The colors were really, really, really good as well. I have mixed feelings on the story, but I feel like that has a lot to do with like my personal feelings on things. But I think that Scott Snyder does a good job of hitting those points a little bit. So the story is about a group of incarcerated women firefighters in California who fight wildfires. So like one of the first pages, I was telling Heather about this earlier, starts out with like a fire in the woods, and you see these firefighters and they're in orange firefighter outfits, and that is actually what incarcerated firefighters wear. So my immediate thing was like, oh, these are incarcerated firefighters. I was like, I hope that is correct. Otherwise, this is a bad job coloring and like just communicating things. But they were. So it just like it talks about how much they aren't paid and those sorts of things, and kind of how they are going to be in there for a long period of time. It touches on a lot of that stuff. But they decide to do a heist.
You love heists.
I do love heists, but I don't love heists within this context, I feel like. And especially because, I don't know. I don't like heists within this context.
Is that part of your mixed feelings?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know how to like fully explain it, but I just don't like the idea of having people who are incarcerated and their CO, so their correctional officer, like her name is Ma, and she's dying from cancer, and she hears them kind of put this plan together, and instead of like stopping it, she like also like decides to encourage it because of the fact that like, none of them are gonna get out, or like if they do,
she's not gonna suffer at all from the consequences.
Yeah, or if they do do get out, then they won't have the life that they think they'll have. Like, all of these sorts of things, which are relevant and true, but it is just like, yeah, the idea of it is like, I don't like that. I don't like that. And especially putting all of their lives on the line. No.
Okay.
I do believe in ripping off very rich people.
Right. Yeah, steal from their dollars.
Yeah, but I don't know about this, and I think I want to get the second issue because I want to support people I enjoy, and I don't think the book is bad. Like, I really like the craft of the book was really well done. Like, the panels, like the colors, the art, the narration, and like the way everybody talked, I really enjoyed. Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with like stuff I'm studying, so that stuff like hits me like head on, where I'm just like, I don't necessarily like,
right,
I don't like these stories as much as I may have in the past.
That's fair.
Because I just think about it a little too much.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get that book because I was very on the fence of like,
yeah,
the content, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem like something that I would enjoy. Which is why I asked you earlier, like, should I go ahead and read it? Because I had a little bit of time. And
yeah, I don't think it would be a book you would super enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like it's a book that's kind of like a niche. People who like heist and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I just wanted to get it because Hayden Sherman.
That's fair, and that was like why I kind of wanted to check it out. Yeah. But you know,
and yeah, like I said, it's a well put together book. It looks great.
All right, well, you win some, you lose some.
So next we have Blink, and this is issue number 1. This is a little story about trauma and hidden cameras, and maybe cults.
Yeah, a cult. Yeah, there's a lot of words in this.
There's a lot of words, and there's a lot going on,
yes.
And that doesn't mean it's a bad thing whatsoever. I actually really, really came out of this loving this a lot.
It was very, very enjoyable, and despite the fact that there were so many words, like I was interested the entire time. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't fast forward once while reading it. I took my time with it, and it just. Yeah, it's very, very enjoyable. It's just about someone who kind of has like a repressed memory return and has to start researching it and discovers that their childhood was not exactly how they remember, or it is how they remember,
or don't remember.
Yeah. So they're trying to figure out how they got out and what was happening.
Yeah, yeah. This was another Hayden Sherman done book. Yep. Which is why I also got this book. And then also because Christopher Sabella writes it, so I was sold right there from the beginning.
Oh yeah, it just is.
And I would say it looks great. I had a great time with that book. Mm-hmm. Interested to see what happens.
Yeah, now I'm curious too, because I was just immediately thinking of like all of those dark web horror movies that I've seen where I'm just like, all right, there's gonna be a lot of gross stuff that happens in here.
Yeah, 100% right.
So do you know how many issues it's supposed to be? Because I don't think I even saw.
I would say I don't even think I looked at it. I think I just kind of like added it.
Yeah, that's
my life.
I did that too. And I do little sidebar. I don't understand why sometimes if it's a limited series, they'll say like 1 of 5. And sometimes they won't, and you just have to wait until the end when they decide it's the end. Yeah. I hate when they do that. I just would like to know from the get-go. Yeah, are you going to be short or are you going to be long?
Well, it makes it easier just for, the sake of story.
Anyway.
And what we do here and our jobs.
Yeah. It would be nice if we could relay that information to the people who do listen. So we could be like, no, this is limited. It's only 5 issues. But we just always are like, I don't know. Maybe one day we'll know.
Hey, if you are a creator of a series, just shoot us emails and tell us how long your series are going to be.
Every single one who creates, any sort of comic, just email us, let us know so we know ahead of time.
Okay, we won't check it or look at it, but you can do it.
We got to know. Okay. All right. I have, again, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce this. It's either Triskel or Triskele. I'm pretty sure it said that in the first issue, but you know how this brain works. It doesn't. This
It's called
is
Triscuits.
Triscuits, yes. Issue number 2. This is about a young child named Alec who is going on an adventure to rescue himself. In this one, it seems like that's what it is anyway. Okay. He enters, I don't want to say a portal necessarily, but he kind of visits a fold in time. And when he leaves it again, he discovers that it's been like 2 years and his entire city or village, I guess, that he lives in is just gone because it had been raided. Like a bunch of people died and the other people just left, which includes his family. Okay. So he is leaving to figure out like what exactly happened, why he was gone that long and who did that to him and stuff. But he kind of has this feeling that something is following him in a sense. Like it's just this weird feeling that he has, so he doesn't like trust anyone that he runs into. Like he goes to a church and the church man there is
the priest.
Well, it's not. I don't know what he would be considered. Just the father, I guess. I don't know. He has like he gets a weird feeling from him when he's talking to him because he's like, oh, when you find your friends, bring them here too. Like I'll look after you guys. It just makes him uncomfortable. So he ends up leaving, and yeah, just a lot of weird feelings in this one.
All right.
I do enjoy this story a lot. The art is very strange.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you were flipping through it.
Yeah, but I like the colors because it is set in like a medieval time, I guess. So it's like, I always imagine medieval, no electricity, so everything's by candlelight, and that's how this book feels.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. I like it a lot.
You got a lot of Scout books this week.
I did. I got a lot of them. Quite a bit.
I'll go. This is Rogues Gallery. This is issue number 1. This is a book about comic book nerds.
I tried reading that today. I got like 1-2 pages in and I just I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, that's what, like parts of it, like I got what it was going for. I'll go over the premise real fast. The premise is that these comic book nerds have been watching this show, Red Rogue, I believe is the name of it, or she's the hero, and the show is supposed to be awful. It's just like everything about it has been really bad, or they've just kind of ruined it. This particular actress has just made everything just awful, and she ended up getting a particular issue of this comic. Maisie Wade wins a particular issue of this comic, and it makes this group of nerds just like incredibly angry, and they decide that they're gonna go steal it from her because she doesn't deserve it. She's just a garbage human being, and just a lot of that.
Okay.
Which is like I get it. I get what they were definitely going for. It was just too much. It was just like that went on for way too long. That is like over half the issue.
Wow. Was it a lot of pick-me energy?
Kinda. Because like they're trying to show the dynamics between the characters, but it could have been like 4 pages, and then they could have gone into like the idea of like them putting on this heist to try and steal this comic from her, and then gotten to the reveal at the end. Like it was not like the story just wasn't well put together. Just like very like it took too long to get to the point, and I don't like listening to those type of people anyway. I don't know why I'd want to read a comic book that is like taking these people and making them the forefront in a way where I'm supposed to be like, oh yeah, no, I get it. These people are shitty. One of them's not so shitty, but like,
yeah, it seems obnoxious.
Yeah, so it's not like I feel bad because it's not a bad book. It's just not a book for me.
It's not your bag.
It's not my bag. The art, I did like the art a lot. So I'm sorry. This book is by Hannah Rosemay and Declan Shavley, and then Justin Mason does the art, and then Triona Farrell does the colors.
Can I flip through it?
Yeah.
Because I only got like a couple pages in, and I was like,
I just don't. I don't know. I'm interested to read the second issue because of the reveal at the end, but it just doesn't feel like something I'm like truly going to enjoy. Mm-hmm. Because yeah, it's like I work at a comic book shop that's not like this for a reason. You know, like I don't put myself in circles with these type of people because they're obnoxious, and also like just like the low key like we're gonna kill this woman, or even the very like full like there is a character who's like we gotta kill this girl. It's just too much.
Oh, because they just were upset that the show didn't do well because of this one person.
And just like, yeah, because the show ended up getting canceled because she like couldn't work with everybody. So yeah, I don't know. Not for me.
Okay. That makes I like not for me. Different pile. Okay. I have Rad Wraith. This is issue number 2. This is a Black Caravan book. It's by Tristan Gallagher, illustrated by Christian Tabari, colored by Simon Go, and letters by Taylor Esposito. I've never actually talked about who does a book before. That's always you. That's like my first time actually saying everything about the book. And it was this one. So this is, again, issue number 2. This is about a kid who ends up getting possessed by a spirit through his skateboard, the Rad Wraith. In this issue, the kid kind of realizes what's going on, as in the skateboard is using him to exact revenge on his bullies by killing them. So he's trying to get rid of the skateboard, but no matter what he tries, it just like keeps coming back, and he keeps fucking shit up and keeps killing people. So this one was actually like, I liked it quite a bit just because it was so stupid. But it was very entertaining. So the kid ends up going to this, I don't know, former metal kid who's now just like very much into, I'm gonna do what's right now. And he's like, I've been possessed, I need your help, all that Satan shit. And so the kid is just like, all right, well, let's go talk to my dad. And his dad has this whole room in the basement that's like for solving Satan shit, I guess.
Solving Satan shit.
It was so weird to read because it moved really fast. Now that I am past the first issue, it was like, okay, this is like a very lame horror movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
definitely the vibes I got out of the first one.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. There's one, that like whole scene. I said scene as if it was a movie. It looked really cool. It was fun.
It just reminds me of like a trauma film.
Yeah, that's exactly kind of what it is, or like one of those full moon movies, like those. Yeah, it was just very silly. Did not take itself seriously, which I appreciated.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I made Heather read this one off the wall because I knew that she'd really like it.
Surprise, I did.
This is The Brother of All Men. This is issue number 1. This is a book by Zach Thompson, Ian Maron? Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Eon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eon. That's a champ thing.
Eon. Yeah. Eon Maron.
Mark Englert does the colors, and then Hassan Atsamane Elahu does the letters, which he's done the letters on several of these books today. But this book was phenomenal. I loved it. I loved the art a bunch, and the colors were really, really good. But this is just a story about, what was his name? They said his name so many times.
Drew? No. Why can't I? Guy. Yeah. That's right.
It was like, they say his name so many times.
And his brothers too, and I can't even remember his brother's name.
Yeah, it's fine.
We don't need it. It's fine.
Bastion.
Yes, that's right.
I have somehow flipped right to that page.
Well, that's good, because that never happens.
So Guy is a private eye who is looking for, or he's working a case looking for a lady, and she's been taken by a mysterious fellow in a photo that he has, and he is also looking for his brother, who he has not seen, and it doesn't really give you a period of time.
No,
like, since they were kids.
Yes, a very long time, and he's supposed to be dead.
Yeah. So Guy has been in the war.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was World War II. Is what it seems like.
Okay, that's what I was also feeling. And he's just returned. He's probably been home a couple of years at least. And yeah, he's just working this case and trying to solve it, and there's cults involved.
It reminds me of the beginning of that movie on Netflix. What the F is it called? Now I'm not going to be able to remember what it's called. I've just been thinking about it all day. I'll have to get back to you on that, but there is a movie on Netflix about a guy that pretty much does this same thing, where he like takes on a case to find someone and ends up taking a boat somewhere and ends up on this island where there's like a cult. Like there's...
This sounds oddly familiar.
Yeah,
I can't think of...
It's got the guy from Bone Tomahawk in it. Well, you talk about that.
I'll talk about this book a little bit more. I really, really enjoyed it a lot. I knew I was going to. It's been a while since I've gotten a Zach Thompson book, so I was really glad to get that. I really liked the panel layouts a lot, and a lot of the narration of the book itself. Feels like a lot of books lately have been really heavy on narration, though, rather than like even dialogue or anything, which is fine. But what really sold me on this book was the little tiny back matter that was in here.
Oh, yeah.
That was like kind of hidden, which is like the inspiration behind the book. And Zach Thompson talks about, I'm just going to read it really fast. A decade of living in British Columbia, where the brother of all men is set, and hearing that there was a long cult history of Wicca and magicians who called the Providence home piqued my interest. I started to dig into the area's history and found Brother 12 and his cult. I read everything I could get my hands on about them, wanting to provide a definitive story about the strange time in Canadian history, but filtered through the lens of crime noir. I love historical fiction, especially when it's set in Canada. And that was one of those things where I think I've seen parts of that movie. Apostle.
It was Apostle. Yeah.
Apostle.
I love that movie.
So yeah, I read that and I was just like, oh, that's really, really cool. It's a super cool dynamic about this book. And so it's kind of based in real life. It
was a very, very entertaining book. There was a lot of things that I enjoyed about it. You know, I love a good indoctrination into cult story.
Yeah.
So it's just, you can feel the mood of it as he is like being introduced and reading everything about it, how his mind is like warping.
Yeah,
I guess.
for sure.
Yeah, they did a really good job of explaining how that whole thing works.
Yeah, and I'm excited for the like more folklore aspect of it as well.
It's good.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest it. Yeah. Okay, your turn, my dog.
All right, here we go.
Heather Diggity Dog. Sorry.
Faithless. Part 3, issue number 6. This is the last one, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But
is
I'm
it actually the last one for real?
It is. You can tell from the way that it ends. Here's the naughty cover. There's banging, you know.
Angels, demons.
Yeah, it's pretty tame though compared to some of the other ones. Like this is a very good finale.
Yeah, I do like that cover a lot.
It's just nice and simple. Okay, so this last issue takes place several years, probably decades from where the last issue ended, and explains like how where Faith is at that point in time and then where Lewis is, and it's like done through the narration of an interview that Lewis is doing in present time, explaining like the last painting that he did, why he stopped painting, and then why Faith pretty much gave up her daughter after saving her. It's like it's a whole thing. I really liked how this one ended because they both realized that they were terrible people and they were not good for each other.
Okay.
And they left, and which is part of the reason why she kind of gave her daughter up, because she wasn't good for raising her. It was really good. I loved how this ended. The last page had it was just really good. There's a lot of banging.
There is a lot of banging.
But overall, I really liked the series. I liked what it did in terms of like good and versus like bad and morals and how people think one way or another. I thought that was really cool. I feel like they should have only done 2 parts to it. It was not necessary to draw it out that long, in my personal opinion, but I did enjoy all the art, all the covers, all that kind of stuff. So I got what I wanted out of it. So yeah, Faithless. And there's a quote from J.R.R. Tolkien on the back, so you know I was into that. Faithless is he that says farewell when the road darkens. There you go.
What a mashup.
Yep.
Some smut and some Tolkien.
Tolkien, hell yeah. Into it.
Okay, so I have Artemis Wanted. This is just a little one-shot. Can't really see it because it's a little dark in here. And
it did get pretty dark.
And this cover is a little dark. This is just about Artemis after the things that happened in the trials of Amazon, or the trial of the Amazons. So if you didn't read that, it's totally fine. I read this and I was okay.
You didn't have to? Okay, I was wondering about that.
I felt fine. I really, really loved the art. I like the story a lot. I don't really want to say too much about what happens. Basically, Artemis is on the run. She is being chased after by Donna and Cassie, which are 2 other Amazons. And she encounters a town that's, like, kind of haunted, I guess. That's the best way to describe it. Yeah, I really, really liked it. But there is, like, large spoilers for Trial of the Amazons in there, so...
Okay.
If people read it, or they want to read it, that's, that will ruin it.
Okay. And you said it was just a one-shot?
Yeah, it's just one shot, but I thought it was so good.
All right, cool. Who's it by?
Vita.
That makes sense to me.
It's by Vita, and then... Where is it in the back? God damn it.
That's so frustrating how DC does that.
It's like, just put it in one spot for me. Skylar Partridge did the art.
Okay.
And then Romulo. Oh my god.
Romulo? Fajardo?
Yeah, why am I having a hard time?
Fajardo Jr. Romulo?
Romulo.
Yeah. Sounds right. Matteo Scalera? What did he do? Letters?
Colors.
Covers. Okay, I was like, oh yes, I see how it's done. Okay, it's after. Okay.
But yeah, that was one of the things I did like the most out of this book was the art. The art was incredible. So that's all I gotta say about that. Not too much.
All right. So Champ and I technically both have this book, but we ran into that fun issue where Champ gets cover Bs and the B covers did not come in, so only I got this. So I'm not going to say too much about it. Basically, our main character is going around killing all the vampires that he created. Each issue kind of deals with someone different. This one is about a doctor who is pretty unhinged, and so in order to take him down, he has to trip with him.
Okay.
The art is absolutely incredible in this. Like, they're
all right. Does Christian Moore do the art?
So fucking good. I mean, yeah, it says he does some of it. So it seems like they split. Like, the whole scenes where he's doing the trip is Christian Ward.
Yeah.
But then, the rest of it is Patrick Reynolds.
I was saying Wilson.
Yeah.
The actor.
Yeah, the actor from... But it is so good. This issue is probably my favorite so far. Like, it was just so much fun reading. I had a great time with this one. So that's all I'm going to say about it because Champ still has to read it.
Yeah, I would love to read it sometime. Who knows when we'll get those Bs. So this is the same thing. The B covers came in, but not the A's. So I got this issue, and Heather did not. This is Silver Coin. This is issue number 12. This is by Stephanie Phillips. And Michael Walsh does the art, of course. And then there is a back matter by Adam Gorham. And I hate to say it, this was probably my least favorite one out of all of the stories. Yeah,
actually, that makes sense to me. I get that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like you'll see why when you're reading it, but just I liked the aspect of it. It just kind of felt. I didn't really like it. It wasn't that great. Out of all of the stories, it wasn't that good. It kind of reminded me of that like Boy Scout.
The Black Badge?
No, they did that one little like back matter that was the Boy Scouts.
Right. Okay.
It kind of reminded me of that, like where it was something that could have been like much shorter. I did really like the art, of course, and it's not that I disliked it, but out of all of the 12 issues that we've gotten so far, that's probably.
Now, does this one have to do with Nazis? Okay, perfect.
I don't think you're gonna like it as much as you think you are.
I want that cover. That cover of the A cover
the A cover is really good. Way better than this B cover, which is the first time where I was like, oh no, I didn't like this as much. I mean, I do like all of the A covers. Every single A cover is also very solid. This would also be a book I would 100% own in a hardcover.
Oh, for sure. Do you know how cool that would be?
Yeah. Just like a nice little silver coin. And every time I look at the back and see the merch, like the drive and want to own the silver coin is stupid.
So, speaking on that.
Which is like, did you actually make something evil?
I spent a couple Saturdays ago, Alec came in, like he does on Saturdays, and we were talking about the merch and how Tiny Onion has so much cool stuff on there that I want. When you pull up the coin, it does not say what it's made of. It does not say anything about the product itself. I spent an hour, maybe more, online trying to figure out what this damn coin was made of. And I had to get up on Twitter. I had to deep dive into responses from people within their Twitter to figure out what it was. It's silver.
Yeah.
But I needed to make sure because I was like, well, is it heavy? Like, is it like actual coin? Like, is it?
Yeah.
What is it? Because all it says is like the silver coin and then the cost. I'm like, okay, but what is the material? What does it weigh? Why am I paying this much for it? Like, tell me more about this coin. And I just love the mystery of it and the fact that it was driving me crazy.
Yeah, like I said, it's just like there's something like my want for it is so like the urge to get it is like I have an urge to get a lot of things just as a dumb collector. We know this.
I get it.
Yeah, like we all know this. But it's like, yeah, I feel like there's something, it's like, is this actually, is it a tulpa situation? Did you bring something into being like...
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I almost just picked up my phone to buy it.
All right, so next we have DC Vampires
All Out War.
Yeah. It's a book by Matthew Rosenberg.
I am going to say before we get into this, I loved the art.
Yeah, I like the art a lot.
It was so good. Basically, this is DC Vampires, like, what is it, a year after the initial outbreak? I don't know what to call it. Deathstroke and his little band of minions are attempting to locate Batman's body so they can attempt to bring him back because they need help. Vampires are doing too much and they need someone who is reliable, good at what they do, and is no longer with them. So they're trying to get Batman. But of course, in this universe, there's way more that's going on. Bad guys everywhere. Plans don't work out.
Yeah. I do want to say that is like kind of like I do understand that aspect. But it's like one thing I don't like about this book or these books is because it's like there is really no good thing ever happening.
Well, and I kind of, like, I get why they're doing this as, like, a whole separate series, but at the same time, they could have just integrated it into the main series of what's going on. And I know it's like a whole DC situation again. Like, that's what they kept doing with that, and that's why there's so many DC stuff. And, like, yeah, I get it, and I enjoy it, and I'm a sucker, and I'm gonna buy it, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, but, like, how many more point of views can you do of the same situation?
Yeah, and especially if it's going to be the same situation where it's
Right.
Killers, the Harley Quinn one, was, like, the only one that had that, like, little bit of, like, glimmer, and then even then it was, like, not that, like, big.
Yeah, because they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Like, they gave you that little hint of it, and then it's like, well, okay, but, like, this is a one shot, so what the fuck? Like, give me more.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. Like, I like this series a lot, but that's the problem I'm having with it. And I just, like, and if anything else, then if it's gonna end badly, which is fine, I'm totally fine with a bad, like, an ending where, you know, the world is just fucked. That's fine. That's a story that's worth reading. But you just have to have, like, those moments that are more, like, hopeful and lead them for a little bit and then crush your dreams, because otherwise it's just like,
well, we got 5 more issues of this one, so,
and then, like, 5 more issues of
yeah,
the main series.
9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah.
So it's like I said, that's, like, my only problem with it right at this moment is just, and I'm ready for all these pieces that we've been like given to be put together.
Yeah. Makes sense. And I got DC's coming back soon too, so
Yeah.
I'm, like, in the thick of it.
Which is wild. Still, I get that it was supposed to be a 3-parter, but excuse the fuck out of you.
There's 4 parts already. There's already way too many.
It was supposed to always be that long.
I know.
That's what Tom Taylor said. But honestly, I do not give a fuck, bro. It feels like that is more of, like,
It's just, the horse is dead. Stop beating it. Like,
yeah, it's unnecessary. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a Marvel zombie situation all over
yeah.
again.
And I mean, part of the only reason that I'm, like, okay with it at this point is because Dan Mora does the variants for it. And
Yeah,
so
no,
I'm
no,
like,
and that
got
was
it.
one of those things that was tempting for me.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Don't
no.
do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Why?
It's
Why
so easy
would I do that?
to get sucked into the Mora covers. All right. I'm going to talk about this. This is Nook. This is issue number 2. It's about a family that moves into this house during World War II. Dad gets
Murked?
Yeah. It's during the war. The bad guys come to the house. The kid is left behind. There's a spirit haunting the house. So in this issue, you get to figure out who the spirit is. And surprise, the exact same thing happened to the spirit during World War I this time. Her family moves into this house during the war. Dad is ready to serve his country. Mom, dad, 2 brothers die. Little girl is left in the closet.
The whole idea of World War I is completely different than the idea for World War II.
Well, tell that to them. It's in Germany. Both of them take place in Germany in this story. Anyway.
But still.
I know. But yeah, she ends up getting stuck in the little nook in the closet. And that's where she dies. And so that's why she is haunting the house. And that's why the new kid who moves in, that's in issue 1, is seeing her. We're more similar than you think. We went through the same thing. This is dumb. And I'm going to say it. I am going to say it. I don't like saying bad things about comics. I even stuck onto this for the second issue, even though I did not like the first one, because I was like, maybe it'll get explained and I'll like it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Maybe that first one was just, like, not as strong as I wanted it to be.
No, first issue was so bad.
This is only 3 issues long, and I'm taking it off my pull right now. I have 2 of the 3 and I'm done.
I know how that goes. I haven't done that.
I tried so hard because yeah, that's it. I'm not going to go into it because I already feel like a jerk, so.
Okay. Well, I'll bring up the mood.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to talk about Alice Ever After. This is issue number 4. I love the shit out of this series.
Good, I'm so glad.
This issue, like, the dynamics in this whole book the dynamics in this book are very interesting. It's not your typical Alice in Wonderland sort of take. You find out in the last issue her dad has been doing some fucked up things in his dentistry.
Funny. It's real life for that girl.
Which is why she is like addicted to this like drug that takes her to Wonderland, is because he's been trying to get her to forget. Part of the reason that she is here is because he just like needs her out of the way because he needs to be able to like live his life. The last issue, her sister had visited, and it was just like there's just something off about this whole place, because she's in a insane asylum, for lack of a better term here. It's really good. It's really, really good. I really like it. It's really interesting. The art is really great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I love the covers for all of them that you've been getting. Like, that one especially is just so good.
It's a Stephanie Hans cover.
It's so, that explains it. Yeah. I love Stephanie Hans. But yeah, no, the covers, every time you talk about it, I'm like, well, dang, why didn't I pick that up?
I just feel like the solicit was very bad for it, honestly. It was not a good solicit, and I think... Yeah, Alice in Wonderland shit, and I was saying this to somebody else earlier, tends to be, like, weird and horny.
Well, I just have a hard... Like, when you read the last issue and I told you about the whole, like... history, I have... that because of that, I've always had a weird thing with Alice in Wonderland. Like, I can't do it. Just because I know about that, and so I'm just like, I cannot deal with Alice in Wonderland at all. And it's been like that since I found that out when I was, like, 15. No, just can't do it. Yeah,
that makes sense.
But I mean, that sounds very interesting because it is loosely this story while just being its own thing.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's why I like it a lot. It's just, I don't know, it's interesting. Like, I don't feel like I can say more than that because there is just so many dynamics of the story that, like, because you have, you know, your traditional characters within the, like, Alice in Wonderland book, like, world and book, and they are here, but they are still completely different. Like, the Red Queen, or the Queen of Hearts, she's the headmistress of this, like, asylum, and, you know, she's the one, like, running everything, and the two dumb twins are the people, like, she's...
Tweedledee.
Yeah, and Tweedledum are the ones that, like, she's controlling, and they are doing, you know, asshole things because they're, like, the wards of the asylum. So it's just, it's interesting to see them put into this.
Well, now I might have to read that.
I think you would like it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a book that I would like, and every time you talk about it, and I'm like, well, shit, why didn't I read that?
Well, and even, like, that reveal, that last issue with, like, her dad, that shit was fucking wild. Like, just, and I'm not really going into it very deep, but it was grotesque.
All right, I'll read it.
All right, so next we have Lonesome Hunters, The Lonesome Hunters. This is issue number 2. I don't know what it is about this book. This is a book by Tyler Crook, but this book is wonderful.
I think it's, so for me anyway, I like the whole, like, it has like a folk horror, like, atmospheric feel to it, but it's also like the main character, what is his name, Howard?
Yeah, I believe that's right.
He is not a typical, like, strongman main character hero. And I think I like that about him. Like, he's scared. Yeah, he's very scared to do what he knows he needs to do, and he doesn't want to do it, but it's to protect this girl, and he does it anyway. So, I mean, like, in a sense, that does make him badass and, like, strong and stuff, but the way that he goes about it, he's not confident. Yeah. And I love that about him.
I think I also, yeah, his name is Howard.
Oh, sick. I got it right.
I also just like the way he's drawn, like, a lot of the facial expressions that he has. He feels oddly relatable, and I don't know how that's possible with a character you don't know too much about, but, like, yeah, I do really like him. There's something about this that's, like, very wholesome.
Yeah.
With a lack of a better word for me right now, is, like, wholesome is the one thing I can get out of it.
Yeah. So, a little brief overview. This guy named Howard, he is in possession of a sword that he should not be in possession of, essentially. In his apartment building, there's a young girl. I cannot remember her name, though. I remembered Howard, but anyway, she has a...
Lupe.
Is it a watch? Lupe. Is it a watch that she has?
Yes.
Yeah. So she has a watch, which she also is just not supposed to have. So there's these two, like, artifacts, if you will. He pulls out the sword to protect her because magpies are taking control of the person that she lives with. I'm not quite sure what their relationship is.
Yeah, I feel like
maybe
he's her
dad?
uncle?
Uncle? Yeah, something like that. But by pulling out the sword in front of the magpies, if you know anything about the symbolism of magpies and stuff, it's an omen. They are hunting for the sword, and since they know where it is and they know who has it, they are trying to find him and Lupe, and he's trying to keep them safe and protect them and stuff, while inadvertently bringing other people into the mix by trying to do it. Again, he's not a brave man.
No.
But the things that he does are brave. Yeah, it's a very, very good story. I enjoy this a whole lot. It's Tyler Crook, you know? Art's good, story's good, and very relatable. Yeah, like you said.
It's weird, because I'm just like, how is this old man relatable?
It's only, 2 issues in, and you get, like, a very vague story in the first one of, like, him as a kid, and then all of a sudden he's an adult, and you don't see anything in between, so it is very strange, but I agree with you, it's very relatable for some reason, like, his character. Even Lupe's a little bit.
Yeah, so you get a very strong sense of who they are. And this cover is so good.
I love the art, like the colors for it.
Okay, well, you talk about your book. I'm going to get a beer in that same time.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No, not at all. I am not going to say too much about this because I hurt my own feelings when I was reading it.
Oh, no.
This is Knights of X. This is issue number 4. This is Excalibur pretty much in the other world being trapped there. They are trying to protect all the other mutants that are there. In the last issue, I am going to give a spoiler because it technically happened in the last issue. Gambit dies. Straight up gets killed. And if you know anything about the other world, you know that when you die there and you are brought back, you are not brought back the same, and you don't, and I mean in this case, they don't even know if they can bring him back because they have no way to contact the mutants on Krakoa or Araco, and with this going on, Judgment Day is also happening, so they have a lot of other stuff to deal with at the moment. So yeah, again, this is just the aftermath of that and them trying to get away from Merlin, and so they don't all get killed. There's a really page that I sent you. Which one was it? Was that the one that I sent you? The screenshot of just his body there?
Yeah.
But there's a really good thing that Richter says, because in the last issue he was talking a lot about how he misses Apocalypse, he misses his guidance and all that kind of stuff. And in this one, he was saying that he knew that a sacrifice was going to be needed in order to complete the ritual that was going to be done on the other side, but he was planning on being the sacrifice. But he obviously wasn't given a choice because they decided it was Gambit. Gambit was like, no, let me swing my cards, and then he is the sacrifice. So this thing that he says here, if we needed a sacrifice, I was going to do it. I didn't know it would be him, but I keep remembering what Apocalypse always said: the death of death, the end of distance. We are mutants. Nothing can ever kill us again. And they have to leave Gambit's body behind. So I really love this series. Someone told me that it was canceled.
Really?
Yeah. Which I to be honest, I would not be surprised about. But at the same time, like, they always cancel the ones that I seem to enjoy the most. Like, I like this one a lot because it doesn't really have anything to do with what the rest of the mutants are doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, this is in a completely different world. It's this one group that, you know, we've been following for a while, and it's interesting. Like, there's a lot of, like, lore and mythology and stuff in this one, and I just think it's really well done. So I hope it didn't get canceled, but I'm not going to look into it because I don't I don't want to know.
I'll look into it for you.
Okay, thank you.
We won't talk about it, but I'll look into it.
Okay, thanks.
So next we both have Do a Powerbomb. I think we just now have everything together, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Looks like it. Yep.
This is issue number 2. This is a book by Daniel Warren Johnson, Mike Spicier, does the colors. And this is a story about a young girl whose mother is a pro wrestler, like the best pro wrestler.
Mm-hmm. What is her name? Steel Rose?
Steel Rose, yes, is the name of at least
someone,
yeah. I can't remember. Is it her mom?
I thought so. Wait. Yeah.
Okay.
Steel Rose.
I just
mom. Yeah.
I was like, I can't remember the
Yeah, no, I couldn't either. And
name.
Yeah, okay.
Regardless, her mother ends up dying in the ring in a match against a wrestler called Cobra Sun. At the end of the first issue, she is prospected by a necromancer.
Yeah. That's the best way to put it.
Be in a tag team match to help him bring her mother back to life and him like escape.
Yeah, he just really loves pro wrestling, which is what I got out of it, and I thought that was hilarious.
So the only person he thinks that she could team up with is the wrestler that accidentally killed her mother, Cobra Sun, and things are revealed. This issue is like very, I don't know, very, I guess, heavy.
Yeah, it's weird the way that it is heavy though, because it's not all throughout the issue. It's just like you can feel at certain points like how heavy it is, because I mean, me personally, I'm obviously she noticed it too when it was happening, but you can tell how much guilt there is for what Cobra Sun. I mean, it was an accident, obviously, but there's a lot of feelings and guilt and stuff behind that, and I love how it is portrayed in the book, that even us as readers can see it. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, because he's just like getting beat with barbed wire and chairs and shit. Yeah, I think that's something I really like about Daniel Warren Johnson, is like everything's kind of like silly but stilted. It feels like, this is gonna be a weird sentence, it feels a lot like life, you know, because life, like, it's just so hard sometimes, but you just like need that silliness to like balance it out. And that's what I really like about his writing, is like it brings in aspects from both, and I think you really need that, and I think that puts together a really like well written story. I just, in this issue, it made me so sad because she was just being so mean. She was being so mean to him for like, you know, something that was like purely an accident, and he had like no, like, he had control of but didn't have control of, because sometimes, and especially in situations such as these, shit goes sideways. You can't really do anything.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. And I was like, obviously I always try to be empathetic and put myself in other people's shoes, and like I would probably be a dick too, you know, like I want to say that I wouldn't, but if I was a young child who watched my mom get killed in the ring by this other person, and then years later saw them still wrestling, you know, I would be upset about it too. But it's a part of life, like growing. You got to get there, you know. You gotta understand, and I think it didn't help.
Forgiveness does come. Like, I think that is something that helps as you get older.
Right. And I mean, I also understand why she's so angry about all this other stuff. Like, she's not given the care and respect that she thinks she deserves. So, very solid characters, very good story. Who knew that I would enjoy this type of wrestling story?
Yeah, I think that's like trying to sell this book to people, or talking to this book about, like, to people who are just like, well, I don't like wrestling. It's like, well, you don't have to.
Yeah, it's honestly
like you literally don't have to like wrestling. You just have to like very well developed characters. You just have to, it's like the same with Murder Falcon, where it's just like, this isn't, you don't have to like metal music. You don't, like, you just have to like silly stuff. You just have to like, I don't know.
Sorry, there was one. Yeah, this part where she's talking to the necromancer and she says, pro wrestling, it's scripted, and he just starts laughing.
Yeah.
Good one. Talented and funny. I love the necromancer. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. You don't have to like wrestling, you just have to read a story where wrestling is a part of it. It's not like watching the movie The Wrestler.
Or we're watching wrestling.
Right. Wrestling is a surprisingly small part of the story, despite it being a story about wrestling.
And the wrestling you do get is also enjoyable.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so next we have After School. This is issue number 2. And this is Skybound Presents After School.
Yeah, this is a little horror anthology. I explained it to... This is how I got Dave to read it, because I did like the first one a lot. And I do like this one, especially, again, because it's an anthology. But I said, it's a horror anthology, but like an R.L. Stein anthology.
Yeah.
Is what it felt like.
That's
because
a good
it's
way
like,
to describe it,
because
for
it's
sure.
like not necessarily for kids, but it's not like adult
Super
horror.
adult, yeah.
It just reminded me of like the kind of books that I read when I was like middle school, high school, like that kind of horror.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to describe that. It's right on the money. I mean, even this issue.
Yeah,
Like,
it was like the content of this one was like kind of heavy, like the message behind it was, but it was also just like silly, but like also kind of scary, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that was just the feeling that I got from it, was just like goosebumps.
Yeah, and I think like the idea is, they're trying to like rethink after school specials. So yeah, it's really interesting. This one's about I guess teenage pregnancy and the fears of a stork that'll make you have your baby.
Yeah, that will force you to. I think that's the thing that I like. The silly part about it was just like she's trying to decide what she wants, and then she gets the mark and is like, no, you have to have this kid, or this stork will straight up just kill you.
Like you. Like,
yeah, very, very silly.
sadly relevant.
Yeah, which the author's note in the back was really good too. Like the whole what inspired them for this idea and all that kind of stuff. It was just, I did enjoy this. I like the Veronica Fish cover. I like the art and the colors of this a lot. I like for an anthology, it's exactly what I want.
Yeah, it's a very interesting idea. And it's no silver coin, but it is still really good.
Right. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, it is like very R.L. Stein, or like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, young adult horror.
Yeah. So we both have Defenders Beyond. This is issue number 1. You're probably wondering what the hell is going on and why we are reading this. I'm reading this for a completely different reason than Heather. I decided to get this because I didn't get the first story arc that they did. But as I've been reading more like Allie Wing stuff, I really have been enjoying it, so I wanted to try this out. I love Javier Rodriguez's art like a ton, so I was like, oh fuck it, I'll get this. I really want to see what it's like, and I actually love this personally a lot, like a bunch.
Yeah,
like,
it was a lot of fun. And I read this because this is technically what is happening after Loki, Agent of Asgard. There was a little prelude to it in Thor 25 that kind of introduces the idea for just Loki's side of the story anyway, like what Loki is doing. So then this comes directly after. That's why I read it, but I also enjoyed it quite a bit too, because Al Ewing did Agent of Asgard, so it was just nice. It was just nice. It was a fun read. It was, what I wanted from like a Marvel limited series.
Yeah, no, it was super fun. That's what I think. It also like has moments of like, oh yeah, this is like serious, but it was something where I was like, I don't have to take this like super seriously. I can just read this book and like have a good time, and it looks great.
It reminded me of the feeling of it, of the Miss Marvel. But that's not the one I'm thinking of. It was a limited Marvel series that I read recently that was only like 5 issues.
The Hawkeye one?
Yes, that's what it was.
I was like, because you read the Miss Marvel and Hawkeye.
Yeah,
one, like,
I couldn't remember because that was a while ago, and I felt like it was way sooner than that. Anyway, it was just, I love the introduction of like the lineup, how each character was like introduced into the story and like what was happening. I just thought it was a lot of fun. So yeah.
And I don't even like tarot cards, but I thought that part was cool. What?
I just love that. Thank you for that.
Why?
I don't know. Out of everything that you could have said, I was not expecting you to say that as to why you did. I don't even like tarot cards.
Well, because that's like a main part of this story. But I thought that aspect of it was cool. Normally, I would just be like, "Oh, that's annoying and stupid."
I know,
but I really liked it. I'm sorry. I know that was a little random.
That brought tears to my eyes. That was very enjoyable. Thank you.
Okay, so this is Jurassic League. This is issue number 3. I did not get all the way through this. The art was too much.
Yeah, I did read it all, but I had a very difficult time kind of keeping everything straight, like the characters and what exactly happened and stuff, because, it was a lot. Like, it was a very...
feels like there's just so much smashed
Yeah,
on one page.
And it's like the colors and stuff, too. This is just, like, one page. It was just... my eyes had a hard time, like, figuring out what was happening where and who was who and all that kind of stuff. So I am gonna have to go read it again. And I read 24 books in the last 2 days.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And so this was the last one that I read, and so I think I was just kind of like burnt out on reading. Yeah. So it was very difficult for me, but I am going to go back and I am going to read it again because that's a lot. That page is a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was like. That was my main problem, is my eyes couldn't focus where they needed to, and I was like, I can't freaking even try with this. But like I said to you earlier, a different artist did the art for this one, so I think it was.
That makes a little more sense.
Dynamic. But,
I mean, if you don't know, it's just Justice League as dinosaurs.
Yep, which it's great. It's great.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah. It's just, this issue was difficult. We'll go back and we'll touch on it.
This is Batman, the Night. This is issue number 7.
We're getting close.
I'll say we're pretty close to the end of this.
I think this was my favorite issue.
Yeah, actually, mine as well.
Yeah, it was, I didn't, a lot of the other issues before, like, they haven't been bad, but it's just been kind of like just reading them to read them, you know? And there have been parts of them that I've enjoyed quite a bit, and then a lot of the time I've just been kind of like, well, this is a Batman story. But this one, like, I truly enjoyed it, like, beginning to end. I liked the idea of it. I liked the characters that were in it. You know, it was good.
I think the problem with this series, and I know we've talked about this before, is just we don't need another, like, Batman origin story or, like, a build on Batman origin stuff. Like, we know his origin. We know that he went and, like, studied with people. I don't need to know, like, the in-depthness of that, to be honest.
Right.
That's, like, we've gotten it so many times, so many different ways. I did like this one because I think it explored more things than the other issues did. Like, the other issues did talk about, like, meaningful things, but this one did explore a lot more, especially about Bruce, and I think it helped him being back in the States. So yeah, this issue, just Bruce is studying with Santana's.
Yeah. Carlos
Santana's.
Yes, he is studying magic.
Yeah.
The art of magic.
Like I said to you earlier, I think, like, the last page was probably one of the, like, best written parts of this whole entire series, and that is literally no offense to Chip or this book as a whole. But
no.
that page was, like, it was so good. Like, I guess page and a half.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. The way that the last page is done is really good. So yeah, I don't know. This issue.
Yeah, I suppose if you like Batman stuff and you, like, want more, this isn't a bad series to have or, like, read.
It's really not. And I mean, it is enjoyable. It's kind of every issue he's learning something new, so you're learning with him, and it's fine. But yeah, how much more do we need? You know?
It's fine. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
More Batman.
More!
This is Batman Superman, World's Finest. I know Mark Waid writes this, but this is a Dan Mora, Tamara Bonvillain joint. I don't care about anything else.
This is our story. This is them still trying to kill the demon and figure out, you know, what happened to Robin.
Yeah. I really liked this issue, though. I thought it was, like, Dan Mora just rules.
So good. And Superman's smile at the end here, when I
Yeah.
saw that, I was like, oh, cute.
And like, it's just like the colors too on that, like with his little cheeks and just like the perfect team.
Okay, obviously this is not a secret. I only got this book because of Dan Mora. And obviously Tamara. Like, that's not a secret, again. But I enjoy this book so much. Like, the story is so fun.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised how much I liked this. Because I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to get into. And I'm really glad that it did, like, it's just leaning into that, like, Silver Age, like, ness of it and being, like, cutesy is the wrong word, but, like, funny and wholesome, like, and having, like, a loose story and bringing in all of these different characters. I really liked it a lot.
I have never read a Superman book. I don't know if I will again, especially after reading this, because this is just so good. I don't know how you can top it. So, yeah.
I mean, you're going to have to eventually read that Jimmy Olsen book. But
I know. I know.
Which is technically a Superman book.
I'll get there.
Okay, this is Grim.
It's issue number 3. I'm trying to remember what happened in this one. Yes.
Jessica is figured out what's happened to her. Her boss, kind of a piece of shit. Adriana, I think is her name, something like that.
Damn, dude, you're remembering all the names.
I don't know. I don't even know if that's her name. I feel like that's close, at least.
Yeah, it's close enough.
And Jessica and her friends are kind of stuck in a negative zone, I guess is the best way to describe it. A void. And they're getting chased by the End. Another Reaper helps them. And
they just discover that Death is gone. Death is not where he's supposed to be, which is why all of this stuff is being allowed to happen. So they are trying to investigate and figure out what happened to Death.
Yeah, the art and the colors are really like the saving grace of this book.
Yeah, because the story itself is just like, it's all right, you know.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's like I didn't like this issue as much as the last like couple issues.
Adira. It took me that long to find it. Adira.
I don't feel like it can sustain itself for that long.
Right. I mean, I hope it's only like 6 issues, because that'd be perfect. Yeah. But it also seems like one of those where it's like the first couple issues did so well that they're just gonna keep doing it.
Because I think the obvious thing is like Jessica is somehow related to Death, or like the child of Death. Like which
would make sense. Yeah. That no secrets.
Yeah, it's just like I think that's something we're getting out of that book. I don't know. I don't want to say bad things about it, because it's not like I don't like it. I enjoy it. It's just not... I added it to my pull file.
Yeah, no, I did too. But like you said, it's just one of those that it's like, how long can it carry on like this?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So we're wrapping it up. We're getting into some big boys. We have Farmhand. This is issue number 19. This book is it 24 issues?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
so the next story arc is going to be
we
the last.
Had discovered. Yeah.
I have to find that other issue. Anyway, don't really want to get much into this, but since it's coming to its ending, but this is probably my favorite issue of the series.
Yeah, this one was so good.
I was just like on the edge of my seat, for lack of a better word. Like reading it, just like I don't know what's gonna happen.
So the big bad lady is trying to find or get to the bones of the mother here. Because I also don't want to spoil too much, but there's a lot of fighting that happens in here, some like realizations that happen. And then what did it say in the notes here? It says the next issue will be the last of the story arc, and it's going to be 28 pages of art, so no space for any letters. So it's just going to be cover to cover. So, and then the next story arc is the last one. So we really are winding down and finishing up the story. And I'm oddly excited. Like, I'm very
Yeah.
excited to see how this is going to end, because I had a lot of mixed feelings when this first started. What is with this cut, dude? But this issue was very good. It was kind of grotesque, like the page where the kids come out of that. I did not like that at all.
Yeah, no, it was grotesque. I think it's really doing, like, for not going back and reading the first part again, it's done a great job of just, like, drawing me right back into the story and reminding me of, like, who these characters are, where they're at. Yeah, this issue was so fucking good. Like, I literally, like, I was just like, I'm right there with you, because it was one of those books where I liked it, but I wasn't, like, 100% sold even when, like, we got to the previous end of the story arc. It was like, well, that's interesting, and I really like this, but
I think the thing that I like the most probably about this story is, like, usually when longer series start to come to an end, like the first few of that last, like, story arc, they're slow, or like the few leading up to the end, they're slower because the story is slowed down quite a bit. Like, you know the trajectory of the story, you know what's happening in a sense, but this one, like, every single issue has been like 100 miles an hour. Like,
but it's built itself in a very like a fast pace, but a very well paced.
And it's I have not been bored with one single issue that has come out.
I'm really, like, I feel like my heart is gonna break though a little bit. Like, I feel like I'm gonna get, like, slapped in the face, which is something I'm scared of.
I was like, I got a little sad when Mikhail was taken.
Yeah,
she was just like, all right, dude, I'm taking this kid. Like, are you kidding me? He was trying to help. Leave him alone.
Yeah, him. I like the empty coffin was like, I think just the anger that Jed feels, like, for his dad is super rough. Like, just a lot of the dynamics at this point are just, like, they kind of suck.
Love reading about other people's family trauma.
And it's interesting having it in such a, like, such a horror way too, where it's like it is very much built into the story and who they are, but it is also very much just a fucking horror book.
Yeah, horror that affects the entire town, like, not just their immediate family. Like, what this dude did spread.
Yeah.
It's toxic.
So last, we have Judgment Day. This is issue number 1. It is here.
Finally.
We're getting the plan as it's happening in this issue. What the Eternals are planning on doing, how they plan on going about it. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I was trying to explain this book to someone, and they asked if it was, like, pretty convoluted. And I was like, no, surprisingly not. Like, it's separated and done in a way that, like, you get each of their stories, like, as it's happening.
Those pieces.
Yeah, it's like they're running concurrent. I like this a lot. Like, I will never say anything bad about Kieran Gillen's writing anyway, so you won't hear me say, like, oh, I hated this. But I enjoyed this, and I am just excited for this series to happen, because already so much, like, terrible stuff has happened within, like, these first 2 issues.
Yeah.
So,
I did like it. I will say, I'll just spoiler alert. So anybody who wants, just shut this off now. We won't say anything else after this. That's probably of importance.
3, 2, 1.
Our friend Chase Magnet, who reviews stuff online, had, like, talked about, like, him and I talked on Wednesday, and just, like, how it's just, like, another mutant genocide book, which it's just like, we've done it. You don't really need to do it again. And then the more I personally sat with the book and, like, thought about it, the thing that I didn't like and that, like, kind of rubbed me personally the wrong way is, like, the mutants that they killed off.
Oh, yeah.
So like, you know, like, I already got problems with the fact that they, like, colonized Mars and then put all of the Racco people there, which is, like, a lot of their, like, Black, Indigenous, people of color coded mutants. You know, just kind of like gotta push them off Earth. We gotta keep them separate. These warmonger type people is like the way they describe them a lot of the times, and even in this book they do the same thing. And then in this book they literally genocide them all, and it made me feel very gross. Like, I didn't like that. It made me like, and I love Kieran. I love his writing. I liked this book for the most part, but like when I sat with it and thought about it, and it, once again, this could just be dumb me, like thinking too much about stuff. It made me feel icky. It made me feel icky sitting with it, and I didn't like that. So I am interested to see like how this all plays out, what happens. I am interested to read X-Men Red, I think next week.
Is that next week already?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's next week.
I didn't even, because that's what I was waiting for, because I wanted to see that because of, what happens in here.
Or maybe it's the week after. It says August. And then, because we still have one more week of July.
Well, I guess Immortal comes next, or first.
But usually they come out on the same week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested to see like what actually happened there.
Yeah, because you don't. Obviously, we're still doing spoilers. You don't get to actually see. You just see like
that it's destroyed. And everybody's dead, and Nightcrawler somehow can bamf from
barely
planet to planet.
Yeah, he's a strong boy, that one.
Which is something, whatever, it's possible because he just has to be able to visualize it. Right?
Oh yeah, he just says we barely made the last gate before it went.
Okay. So yeah, I think, like I said, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but that was like something that just made me feel gross. And I was talking to Chris about it yesterday. And he's just like, well, yeah, it probably is supposed to. And I was like, yeah, I mean, genocide. Nothing about genocides are supposed to feel good.
Yeah.
Like, seeing millions of people die isn't something that people should be celebrating.
Right.
But yeah, I just think it was I think everything that they've done with the Araco people has been a choice.
A very interesting choice.
Yeah. So it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine.
But yeah, I didn't mean to just like push it away. Like I had no interest in it. I keep touching it and my hands are greasy. So
yeah, like I said, I liked it. I'm interested to see. I will read more issues. I will read more X-Men issues. I'm going to get the Death to Mutants that's what I think the little mini series for X-Men
it's like
is.
three issues, something like that. Yeah.
So I am invested, but I do think that it's something where it's like if you've gotten your fill of mutant genocide, then
you don't need to read this.
You probably don't need it.
Yep.
Especially once you I don't know, you build up such a really cool idea and something different, and you're like, what if I just burn it to the ground?
Right. Well, I don't know. I have a lot of theories, but I don't want to get into them because they are unhinged and they don't really make a lot of sense right now just based off of one issue. So as I read more, I'll be able to make sense of them.
You'll make your unhinged theories about a comic book.
Yeah. You know, I've got tons of them.
All right, so we're done. We're out of here.
That was a long recording.
Yeah, we had like 20 books.
Yeah, that was a big one.
So it was a week. So thank you for listening. We appreciate everything you do for us, just listening to us. We're thinking about starting a Patreon soon, but not to show you our boobs or anything, but just to like give you more content, but not more.
I'll show you my feet. That's as far as I'm willing to go.
And that's something I'm sure some of you are into. So yeah, once we actually do that, we'll tell you more information. We're getting there, slowly but surely. So yeah, go support your local libraries, support your local comic book shops, take care of your friends, buy some comic books, just be good people. That's all I can ask from you.
Love yourself.
Yeah, love yourself.
Love yourself. You deserve it.
And we'll see you next week or whenever.
I look like a head just floating because of how dark it is.
I at least have the white.
I always wear black, so.
I'm technically wearing black.
See, look.
All right. We'll see you later. Thank you for listening. We love you.
Goodbye.